Welcome to Countdown to Infinity, a Marvel's Avengers podcast. We talk all things MCU. It's funny, I just recorded an episode of our Star Wars podcast earlier today, and...
don't confuse the two.
I know, I almost said we talk everything a galaxy far, far away, but we don't talk that on this. This is Countdown to Infinity. Mm-hmm. We talk all things MCU and talk about the Avengers. We talk about all of the new Disney Plus series and the movies like Multiverse of Madness that just came out recently. But here we are, Sophia.
Here we are, back at it again.
Oh, my name's Emmanuel, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. You already introduced me.
Sorry.
Who are you?
Stole your thunder.
What?
My name's Emmanuel.
My name is Sophia.
And we're at the front end of another new Disney Plus series.
Yes.
Wait, I haven't counted in my head. I should know this by now.
What?
This has got to be like number 6 or something, right?
WandaVision, Loki.
WandaVision,
Loki.
Falcon Winter Soldier,
Was it
Loki.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right.
We had What If.
Uh-huh.
We had Hawkeye.
Yeah.
That's 5 just last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
And this year we've already had Moon Knight.
Uh-huh.
And we've got Ms.Marvel.
Yes.
I don't know if we missed one.
I feel like we did miss one. But
Let us know,
I
listeners. Well, we've talked episode by episode for all those series, and we're about to start talking about Ms. Marvel when it premieres on Wednesday, June 8th. It is a really exciting new show. It seems like it's targeting a new demographic. It's a lot more youthful.
I was about to say it's definitely going towards the younger generation, not only like towards like the audience, but in Marvel.
Yeah, I think that we've got an age range. Oh my god,
range.
Wait, I can't say it.
Age range.
Age range.
Yeah.
I keep trying to say age range. Wow. The age range, this is age. I'm not going to say that anymore.
Age range.
We're talking about, high school, almost Spider-Man, Peter Parker-esque,
Yeah.
young main character, Kamala Khan.
We sound so old, like the youngins.
These young kids.
These kiddos.
She's in high school in Jersey City, which is honestly kind of close to New York.
Side note, the billboards were so cool.
Yeah, the billboards that they're showing. Yeah.
Look it up on social media.
Look it up.
It's so cool.
The highlights, the billboard and marketing for this has been really good. Played by Iman Vellani.
Yes.
Who is, I believe, kind of a discovery.
She's super cute.
She's new.
You're going to super cute.
Super cute. So cute. But also, like, we'll dive into all of this. But we're talking about Ms. Marvel. This is your preview show. So we're not trying to spoil anything here.
No, we don't know. We know as much as you guys know, unless you guys know more than we do, which is like crazy. But yeah, we're just coming up with the trailers and our opinions and what our expectations are.
Yeah.
So
we've watched the trailers. We're going to talk a little bit about the comic books. We actually, when we went to Philadelphia to the Marvel exhibit that they have over there,
West Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Born in. Can't sing
no,
that anymore.
I'm just
kidding,
guys.
But when we went to the Marvel exhibit there, they actually had a life-size Ms. Marvel.
Yes,
which
they
was
did.
Really cool. But
before any of this was even mentioned.
So we'll talk a little bit about
we
that.
had the scoop, guys.
We got the scoop.
Technically, we were there.
But we'll talk about as much as we can, and then of course we'll discover it as we watch the episodes. This is another 6-episode season.
They're just sticking with 6.
Sticking with 6. I heard that it's just easier for them to schedule people for 6 eps than it is for, like normal drama shows are 10,
13.
12. They're long commitments of
time.
And
like long episodes, like minute-wise. It's like 40 minutes. We just watched something, I don't want to mention it, but we just watched
Stranger
something
Things?
on...
Obi-Wan?
Oh, I guess so. Sure. Yeah. And, well, not Obi-Wan. Well, I guess, Obi-Wan was kind of long. But, Stranger Things on Netflix. I was talking about the Hulu one. But I don't want to mention that.
Yeah.
But, we were watching Stranger Things, and we were like, man, these episodes feel kind of long. But they work compared to, like, what we get on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why it goes by so quickly, because they're kind of sticking to these like 30, mid-30, maybe a little sprinkle of more if it's a finale or something. But 6 eps at 30 minutes each, like there has to be a lot that happens. Like Moonlight, I felt like it was just going on and on and on and on. Like it was crazy quick. And I feel like Ms. Marvel's probably going to be the same.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a different flow to it. So the in terms of like what we've seen, like her kind of envisioning her scrapbook in real life and stuff, like it's going to have a pretty unique thing. Well, here's who Kamala Khan is. If you've never heard of her, she is from Wikipedia, a fangirl of the Avengers, particularly Carol Danvers / Captain Marvel, who struggles to fit in until she gains her own powers.
It has to do with like a banglet or something, right?
Yeah,
From
in the
trailer?
series, it's a bangle, and I think one of the things that when we saw the exhibit,
Yes.
it's the comic book version
Mm-hmm.
of Miss Marvel, which is very different. In the comic books, she is kind of like she's very powerful,
Yes.
but she's I think call them like polymorphs. So the thing you'll probably see if you Google image search Miss Marvel is her with a giant hand.
Yeah.
And she can change her body basically, which like Mr. Fantastic style. So I don't believe that's what's going to happen in the show. It seems like it's kind of more mystical and kind
Yeah.
of like just a visual representation of a giant hand.
Yes.
Instead of her body like just growing
actually
and
morphing into something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about the comic book stuff, but they don't necessarily always follow it in the MCU. So
I was about to say
grain
that
of salt.
we've talked about this before, specifically on our Multiverse of Madness pod, because like there was some clapback online about people saying like, what, this is all we get? Me. And I'm like, okay, I totally feel you. But also remember, Disney is going to do whatever Disney wants. You know what I'm saying? Like if it makes the most sense to them, they don't necessarily need to stick to everything that's written in a book, and they can just do whatever they want because they're the only ones doing it right now. For
Yeah, and
Marvel. So it's like they got whatever they got.
And they're really, I think, beholden to the interconnection of all of their stuff.
Yes.
I know we're kind of out there right now. We've got all kinds of stuff happening in all different universes.
What do you mean?
This is like, I mean, the phase 1, phase 2, all of that was
There's
kind of
so much.
set in the same, Earth and the same
Right.
dimension. And here we've got all kinds of stuff happening, but it's still an interconnected story. So they are really leaning into things I think that make sense across all of their movies. So
Yeah.
that may be why there are so many changes to the compared to the comic book series. Well, the new show is created by Bisha K. Ali, who is a British Pakistani screenwriter. She's the head writer of the show, but she was a comedian for a time, so I'm expecting this to be a little bit lighter.
Oh, fun.
Which is exciting. She's written for Marvel before. She wrote an episode of I think the third episode of Loki,
Oh, cool.
which
Okay.
was really really good.
Loki was really good.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be really exciting. Well, I mean, it seems from the trailers that it's a little more fun than some of the other series we've had. A little bit lighter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a 16-year-old girl who's dealing with life at that time.
I can imagine that she's dealing with some like identity stuff, like just
Boys.
like trying to, of course,
Twins.
maybe. I mean, you never know, and I feel like that's going to be really cute to see. Also, like you can see that there's a lot of her family that's involved in this, like
Yeah.
from the trailer, which I think I'm really excited for because usually when family's involved, it's going to be like. What is it called? Like motivational for them, and that's especially I feel like since she's so young. Okay, I don't know if this is just me, but when I was 16, I wasn't necessarily like as close with my family. I was more of like a rebellious
Yeah.
16-year-old.
That,
You know what I'm saying?
happens at the time.
High
You
schooler.
don't want to see them ever.
No, I was like, Mom, shut up. But I feel like this is gonna be the opposite. She's gonna have like a really positive interaction
Yeah.
with her family, even though she has like this huge responsibility of like superpowers and whatnot. But it looks like they're going to be kind of supportive. I do also like that there was some humor sprinkled into the trailer with a mention of Mulan. There was like somebody who was like counseling her, giving her some sort of advice there at the end, and he was like trying to help her discover like, okay, well, what do you see in yourself?
Yeah.
Like she was quoting some reflections,
And
I
honestly,
was like, that's cute.
That's one of the things I think that makes her character really unique compared to what we've seen before. And I'll be honest, that's kind of all I care about with anything that Marvel puts out now is how it's different from everything else that we've seen.
Yeah.
Which is still happening. Of course, Moon Knight was very different. Oh, my Multiverse of Madness, my gosh.
Yeah.
But I think Ms. Marvel gives us that ability to... again, I equated it to Peter Parker for a little bit, but this is even a little bit more than that because she has, a family structure.
Yeah.
It's even bigger than Peter Parker's Aunt
Well,
May
yeah,
and
I
like
mean-
Happy Hogan. But, it's going to be interesting to see how she, goes to school. how she deals with her best friends who are in the show, how she deals with crushes. There's even a character, Red Dagger, who is like a vigilante on the streets, who she might team up with. We don't know yet. But I mean, I think that's what's going to be really exciting about this. I want to talk about, too, one of the things that is really, really unique about her character is she's living in the world of the Avengers and all the repercussions after Thanos and the snap and all that stuff. So obviously, she's a huge fan.
Same.
Her character, just like us, her character is not only just a huge fan, she writes fan fiction about the Avengers. She goes to Avengers Con, which is like a
Comic-Con,
but for imagine if they're real life. So she is kind of this obsessive nerd fan of the Avengers. And the actress herself says, like, you know, this isn't really hard for me to play this kind of character because I'm a huge fan of the Avengers.
Sign me
Robert
up.
Downey Jr., IRL and stuff. But I think it'll be really cool to see someone who we've had little moments of this, like meta jokes about the Avengers, but this is like a little girl, not a little girl, but a girl who is influenced by real life superheroes who get superpowers. So she's kind of like in the know.
Just imagine one of us getting superpowers.
Imagine you.
And that's exactly what we're going to see on screen.
Yeah. And she's got this affection to Captain Marvel, of course, who is like one of the most she's Captain Marvel, one of the, you know, honestly, few humans. She's a human who got
the same
invincible, basically. But I think that's going to be really fun, especially when we see Avengers Con and we can kind of see some of those meta jokes. I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Some Iron Man love. People who probably are freaks for certain, you know, heroes, and some people who are like mega fans for, I don't know, like some really obscure superheroes or Avengers or whatever. Like imagine some huge Hawkeye fans there and stuff like that. It'll be cool because I mean, obviously this happened with Peter Parker too in his MCU movies, but you know, he wanted to be an Avengers right away.
Right.
And he had to learn that.
And Tony was like, no.
Yeah. That there's a lot that has to happen. And then he eventually becomes like a reluctant hero towards the end, where he doesn't even want to be the Spider-Man because it kind of ruins his life in an interesting way, and he makes everyone, spoiler alert, everyone forget him.
Right.
So I'm thinking we're going to get a little bit of that with her.
See, I was thinking that too, and I would like to see how we get a perspective from a female character now who is also managing all these other emotions and whatever else. At the age of 16, like a young girl. Just trying to figure her stuff out too. So I'm excited to see how they portray a female side of this whole, like, because honestly, it's like a transitional period, right? Like you're just trying to figure out your identity and like trying to understand everything around you. But then you get hit with like, oh, BT dubs, you're gonna have these superpowers now. So, and of course, that's gonna come with fame. That's gonna come with like way more responsibilities, like all that jazz. So it's gonna be really cute. I'm excited.
And she doesn't have the help of Tony Stark,
no,
you know, so
no.
or the other. I mean, at that point with Peter Parker, he like knows the other Avengers.
It does show like an agency trying to figure out like, oh, I need to like, oh, we've never seen.
Well, let's talk about that because that agency is the Department of Damage Control, who we do see in Spider-Man No Way Home. So super established, great. I think it's the actor from like Succession and stuff. Super interesting. And in the comic books, Ms. Marvel has multiple government agencies as her basically villain. Because I think, you know, we're at the part of the convo where a lot of people are like, okay, I like her, but who bad guy?
Yeah.
What is bad guy?
She's a good guy, but who bad guy?
I'd say you can probably dive into the internet and see the rumors, but we really don't know at this point if it's a singular person. But a lot of times for Ms. Marvel, she's dealing with organizations. There's some really bad ones that hunt down superheroes in like the new age. There's rumors that Clandestine and Nice are some of the villains. We're not sure. We do know that the Department of Damage Control is in it because we see them in the thing. And I don't know if there's like a singular. She has some really cool villains, but I don't know if we've yet seen who that singular person is, at least in the trailers.
Right, or
I haven't like looked at IMDb.
You have to, like, I was about to say you have to like freeze frame at something, you know what I mean, and it's try to see in the background if there's like a glow of a specific color from a comic book.
So we're
not that we do that. But.
I mean, and we've kind of have to uncover why she decides to keep the powers, especially since they come, at least from what we know, what we've seen from a bracelet, like a bangle. So. what decision matrix happens in her mind that makes her think like, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to deal with all the bad stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. What are you expecting from like a villain perspective?
I would love for her to take on government agencies, because then it's really targeting some of the younger Marvels fans. Just because I know that there's like a lot of people that kind of recognize that within characters now. Like, I see it from the younger crowd. My I don't want to say like my followers or whatever, but I do have some social media friends or acquaintances that are kind of younger, like 18, 19, 16, 17, around there. And yeah, they definitely are. I see a lot of retweets. I see a lot of posts. I see a lot of, all that sprinkled in. So I think they would definitely appreciate it. And then just introducing that again based on what Marvel has planned for the future. Like, if there's going to be a whole other like, I don't want to say like galactic war, but like galactic fighting in somehow. Government agencies are obviously going to be implemented,
Involved,
and involved.
I mean, when
within that planning,
half the population is
wiped out, bro.
Wiped out from the blip,
people get involved.
Yeah, if we can't control everything,
No, so I definitely think that with this younger generation of Marvel characters that we're seeing, whether it's like Wanda's kids or whoever, whenever they all team up for Young Avengers, which we've been saying that this is going to happen, so I really hope it is going to happen later on. But yeah, I have a feeling that some government agencies are also going to come after them. So if we're planting seeds now, this will be a great start.
Yeah, and I think it's a good mix of. I know, like, I'm not a huge fan of having too much of this, but the fact that there's like the Illuminati who is trying to figure out, the multiverse stuff, and they got their hands full with America Chavez. But on Earth, we've got our own crap that we're like, okay, how are we? It's the scope of it, and sometimes it doesn't need the Illuminati.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's an organization like, I think we're going to talk about NICE for a while, because NICE is kind of a new organization that kind of takes the place of Sword and Shield.
And Shield, yeah.
I don't know how many organizations there are on planet Earth.
But that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to keep introducing these, and our characters or the characters that they're showing us are going to keep dealing with them. That's what I'm saying.
And then I'm also looking forward to, she's going to come into her own, and this is maybe... It's not a huge spoiler for anyone, but Kamala Khan is going to be in The Marvels, the next Captain Marvel movie. So you can only assume it's directed by Nia DaCosta, who's amazing. She's made the Candyman remake, but you can assume that by the end of this, Ms. Marvel will come into her own. And then be I don't want to get too crazy, because I know we are kind of too obsessed with cameos and connections and stuff.
Yes.
But can you imagine Brie Larson showing up at the end of this?
100%.
Especially after, that Ms. Marvel is like idolizes her or whatever.
100%. Yeah, you can absolutely see that happening. And then also, like, because it's going to be so connected, yeah, of course, like... I could definitely see Disney.
It's gonna happen.
That. Yeah,
we don't need it right away, but yeah, it's gonna happen.
If we only have 6 eps, it's probably gonna happen.
I'm interested, Bruno. I think like a couple days after Iman got casted, Brie Larson met her virtually or something like that. Gave her some advice. To let her know, like, hey, you're on a roller coaster train. Here, and then oddly enough, she also told her some advice about the amount of, I guess, like, work physically.
Yeah.
And warnings about like taking care of yourself.
Working out
because
and stuff.
if you if you've seen any of these movies, all these actors are in some kind of insane regimen where they're eating certain things and getting buff and swole. And I can only imagine being young and
having to
Tom
do it
Holland
at such a young age.
Being like, okay, this is my lifetime.
Tom was also used to it though, because he was in ballet, actor, he was in all kinds of stuff, like
the Broadway.
The Broadway. And so it's I'm sure she had to do something.
I'm really excited about this show, partially because there's no hiding Disney, trying to make the MCU a multi-generational thing forever.
Yeah.
And part of that means you got to have like a constant flow of new characters and new actors and young actors.
And also sprinkle in cameos with the not the old people, because we're not old, y'all.
Yeah, you're not that even that old, yeah. But like, yeah, it's part of the strength of this to become something that lasts a long, long time. To have Miss
have and to
Marvel,
hold.
yeah, and to have like new characters and old ones interacting, but
And for
introducing
us-
some people that can be around for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, and for us to get excited about these new changes, and it's not even changes; it's just like adaptations or just just a sprinkle of something that's just helping other galaxies, other planets, other worlds, and sometimes our own.
Yeah, and you know what? We didn't even bring this up, but Comic-Con Ms. Marvel was really important and fairly new. I think it came out like I would say after 2010, maybe like 2012 or something, the comic book series. But she was the first, a Muslim superhero for Marvel, and
Yes.
the first, I think, Pakistani superhero for Marvel. So there's a lot that is groundbreaking about this show in general, and I
Yes.
think that's really exciting to see as well. But I think if you want to have fun, I would watch Miss Marvel. I think if
If you want to have fun.
I say that as like a direct. I know some people who have said that this just looks like it's for like little kids, or
Oh, I see.
because of
I
the way
understand.
that tonally it is.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm like, okay, well,
Guys,
like
it's
most,
universal.
and part of this is like most of these shows are for little kids. Like
Yeah.
I know there's some dark stuff, but Disney's trying to get all
Yeah.
ages into these movies.
Yes.
So I mean, we haven't really seen any bloody ones yet. It's not like they're making rated R stuff, and that's the only thing that they want.
Right, I feel like Moon Knight came like the closest
Moon Knight
to
got
that.
pretty darn close, yeah. But Miss Marvel is going to be fun for you regardless of your age, and I think it's going to be a really good story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited for it. Any final thoughts on Miss Marvel on this preview ep? I know it's a little shorter, everyone, but I mean we're about to watch the first episode in 2 days.
Yeah. No, I'm just really excited opening it. Right. I'm in there. I'm in the opening, guys. No. I'm just welcoming it with open arms is what I meant to say. And yeah, no, I'm for 6 eps. This is going to be like
Yeah.
a walk in the park. It's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to be exciting. It's going to have a lot of new action. I'm hoping that it's going to have a new type of film like style
Yeah.
coming from Ms. Marvel, just because I'm seeing a lot of the cool colors, a lot of the cool editing that's around, and so
Yeah.
that I'm excited for too. Because Disney, they're not gonna low budget something like that. So
Yeah. It's and important to note too that Thor: Love and Thunder comes out before this series ends.
yeah,
So this is, we're gonna. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but suddenly we're gonna have
we will make
a
it work.
Thor thing happen in the middle of this. But yeah, I'm really excited for the show. I think that it's gonna be different tonally. It's nice to have younger. A different generation of actors leading something like this. I mean, remember, the last series was Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac, and now we've got something totally different. And it just shows the strength and maybe the strength, honestly, of the source material, because this is a comic book that has been in circulation.
Yeah.
So I think it's really fun. I can't wait for the show and to find out more and to spend more time with this character. But we will be going episode by episode. We don't have the names yet of these episodes, but we will definitely be, watching them.
Yeah.
And they'll be coming out on Monday for everyone to listen to. So
Marvel
you have time.
Mondays.
Yeah, so you'll have time to watch these
Miss
things.
Marvel Mondays.
Miss Marvel Mondays. But Sophia, we
Fun.
come to the end of this episode. What do you have to plug?
Just all the same old stuff. Thank you so much for listening and supporting us through and through. I know things have been kind of rocky, but hey, we're here. Thanks to you.
Yeah.
Truly, thank you really, really. And if you want to continue to support the pod, you sure can. Check us out on Patreon. Everything's going to be there. Patreon.com/DelphinPod, DelfinPod. Everything, including our other shows too. Please check them out. And if you want to follow me on any socials, you sure can. Everything's going to be @_Simply Sophie, SOFIEE.
For sure. Listen to all of the shows on the Delphin Pod Network. We've got Dirt Sheet Radio, The Countdown Strikes Back. Those two are coming, out weekly. All
Right.
new. We're watching Obi-Wan on the Star Wars Pod.
Oh, it's so good.
And I just want to give a shout out to all of our people on Patreon, our patrons. We announced, I think last week, that we were donating the rest of our earnings for the entire year to the victims and families of the Uvalde school shooting that happened nearby. And
Yes.
our Patreon went up. So people heard that and decided,
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to donate every month.
Yes.
So thank you so much for doing that. And you get all those free shows and listen to all of the fun stuff that happens on Patreon too.
Thank you so much.
But thanks so much. I guess you'll be hearing us next week for the first episode of Ms. Marvel.
I guess you will.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.